Hello there. Today we're going to be talking about how to figure out a price of a property using comparative analysis on real estate, basically looking at comps. That's the short-term word of what we say as realtors. This is basically looking at properties that are very similar to yours and figure out a price of the property based on a local market. Learning the skills will be very crucial, especially if you're trying to be an investor or avid home buyer, because once you are able to learn how to figure out property price based on comparable data, that's how you're able to find a deal yourself. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you how to do it on Zillow, so you can be able to do this yourself at all times. Zillow is not going to be the most perfect tool, and I'm going to show you later on how I can provide you better data, so you can give you a much more exact price on the property. But Zillow is going to be a good stepping stone to get interested in the property, or just to do some real quick numbers on your end. So, we're going to be looking at this property right here, basically 310K, 3 beds, 2 baths, 1,500 square feet. It's in Royal Oak. This is This is in Royal Oak. This is a really good city in Michigan, and it's a really nice property from what I'm looking at right here, right? This is actually nicely done. It's not really old condition. The kitchens, the walls, they look nice. They have a backsplash. This is a good kitchen, nice appliances, and this is basically a good price home that's a well done home. I would consider this. These are the type of properties that sell quickly in this type of market where the interest rates are super high and people are going to be picky on what kind of homes they buy. So we want to figure out, is this property really worth 310K basically? So the way we do that is look at properties similar to that. So this is 3 bed, 2 baths, 1,500 square feet. So when we're looking at properties, we should look at properties very close to the area of this property that are very similar in size and very similar in bedrooms and bathrooms. So in this type of search specifically, I'm going to do a search of 3-bedroom houses that are also going to be around 1,500 square feet, give or take another 200 square feet. In Zillow, you can only do calculation like the square feet minimums and maximums by 1,250, 1,500, 750, so by 2,500. So for this video, we're going to show parameters of 1,250 to 1,750. Now for bathrooms, I like to keep bathrooms sometimes blank. And if there's less bathrooms or more bathrooms, I always give or take around 10 to 15,000. If it's a really higher end home, sometimes 20,000. Because there's many times where you will see houses that are same size, same bedrooms, basically same layout, but has 1 bathroom, or maybe has an extra bathroom. So I like to always take those properties in consideration, especially if it's really close. Now, in a neighborhood like this, right, you want to keep the search to this small area, right? This general area right where I'm showing you. If you're in a more sparsely populated area, rural area, you want to extend that distance larger because you're probably not as many properties sold in the area. Next thing you want to look at is properties that have been sold recently. Ideally, start from 30 days, 3 months, then to 6 to 9 months back. Sometimes you might have to go a year back if you're in a really sparsely populated area. Just if you're going to go back that long, just keep in account the market trends and how much the prices have gone up or less in that time. It can give you better ideas if the prices have gone up or not in that area. So after I told you that, let me show you that so it's going to be much more clear for you. So right here, right now, we don't see many properties on market. This one right here is a different breed, so we're going to kind of ignore that one. So now we're going to look at sold property. So I want to sold, so you go up here, you click sold, home type, houses, because we're looking at a single family home. If you're looking at condos, you change it. Looking at multifamilies, you change it. Now, square feet, 1,250, 1,750 right here. Sometimes if the houses are in a very different neighborhood and everything's a different year, sometimes use the year built as a good guide. But in this area, most of the houses here are all built around the same time period. But you don't want to compare sometimes a home that's built in 1970 to a home that's built in 2023. So just keep that in mind. And I'm going to do the last 30 days first and see what's sold. So right here, I can see that there's a 300K property, so only 10K off. 3 beds, 1 bath, 1,600 square feet. So it's about 149 square feet more than this other property, but has less bathrooms. And sold for 300. Now, the reason I don't like Zillow and the tool I can provide you is better is because you don't get photos of this property. I don't know if it's a junk property inside or if it's a really nicely done property. We don't know that, but I can see that there's a property very similar that's sold for 300. So that's okay. Now, that's 30 days back. Let's go 90 days. Nothing sold in 90 days, except that one property. 6 months. Nothing. I just want to keep in mind, don't use these numbers. These are not properly done numbers. They're just guessed by the computer. So I would take these numbers with a huge grain of salt. Don't really go off these numbers. Now 12 months back. You shouldn't really have to go 12 months back, but in this situation, I'm just trying to show you how to do it. There's a property that sold right behind it for $290, 3 beds, 1 bath, 1,500 square feet. Very similar. This one has no photos either. But this was also a year ago. This was in October. So this was about a couple months ago. This was some time ago. Prices have gone up since October. Here, I pulled up this Redfin real estate data. You can just Google Redfin real estate data and enter the city name in, and you will find this type of website here, all over here. So as of March 2024, it was 345. We don't have April, May data yet in Redfin, but so now we can look at it's 323 for October 2023. So prices have gone up in a general trend, as you can see, and this is in a 1-year limit. Keep in mind, if you're going to use this, I will use it. Make sure you're looking at the same house types, because house types can make a huge difference in the market. So keeping in mind that prices have been going up generally, this sold for $290 in October. It's safe to assume that prices have slightly went up in this area. Now, is the property worth $310? Honestly, I can't really give much more say on that because I don't know the conditions of these properties. But basing off just the numbers right here, it's kind of based around, should be around 300, 305, 310. It can be priced a little bit, I think it might be priced a little bit slightly higher, but you know, in this type of market with Royal Oak and it being summer and spring, it can sell. Now, let me show you the real tools that will help you figure out if it's really worth 310 or not. This is going to be sent by your realtor or me when you ask me about a property. I can send you this type of data right here, so it gives you a better idea. As you can see, there's this 290 house, and the criteria for this is I set a year back and up to 1,800 square feet for the properties, and you can see all the photos in the properties, the conditions of them. See, this 290 property is really nice, sold. Now let's see this 300K property that sold recently. It's not in better, I would say it's slightly older and not in a good condition. It's not as a good condition as the other property. I mean, it is a good condition property, but it's not as newly updated as the property that we were looking at. As you can see right here, this property definitely has a bit more of a newer update to it, newer kitchen. So this type of stuff has a factor to play. So is the property worth what it is? Probably slightly a little bit over, but it will sell in the long run. So in this type of market, you probably will have to submit around asking price. You can try submitting below, but don't try lowballing this type of property. It might not work. You shouldn't also have to go over asking on this type of property. I probably wouldn't. If you don't get this at asking price, then you should, it's okay. But if you really want to live in this specific area, you really want to live here, right? Then I think it's worth paying overpriced just to get that property. Don't go so over it, but you should only do that if you really want to live at this property right here and for a long time. Now, the reason you should want to still do it on Zillow first is because the way I can give you this type of data right here, you have to give me the address of the property, and then you have to tell me about this property, and then I can pull this data for you, right? There's no real way I can give you to search and then you can see all this data. That's going to be reserved for realtors. But you can always ask me and send me this property and I can do it for you. But in the meantime, if you really want to get a quick rough numbers, this Zillow method is a very good way to figure that out for you. If you have any questions about pulling comps, or you want me to help you figure out comps on a property, feel free to comment down below in the DMs. My name is Shah. I'm from the Real Brokerage in the Metro Detroit area. Thank you guys for watching, and you guys have a great day.